All right, I'm going to kill you with this soul ring. Die. All right, welcome, vintage gamers, to more The Brothers War action. Bro cards for bros. Bro? I don't know why I tried to make that a joke, but it's in there now, and I can't ever remove it. I don't have that kind of power. That would take editing. You know, I don't do editing. Anyways, Hurkyl, Master Wizard. Great magic card. Fun magic card. Justin likes this magic card. So there's a lot of text on this card. I guess I'm going to read it. So it's a 2/4 for 3. Not a bad rate. Blocks a lot of important things. There's a lot of 3/2s in the format and 2/2s in the format. 2/4 for 3. Very nice. At your end step, only your end step, if you've cast a non-creature spell, for each type of those non-creature spells, you may select one of those cards from the top 5. So if you've cast, say, Artifact to cast Hurkyl, then you get an artifact from your top 5 at end of turn. If you, say, cast an artifact to cast Hurkyl, and then your opponent forced your Hurkyl and you force back, you can look at your top 5 and get an artifact and an instant. If you played a Gitaxian Probe and then played an artifact and cast Hurkyls and forced, you could theoretically get an instant and a sorcery and an artifact. That one's a little unlikely to happen. I've built a kind of an old school Fanoop style mono blue PO list. I don't think this, I'm not saying that this is the best way to build PO. I just wanted to make a PO deck that was utilizing Hurkyl to like the fullest, like all in on the ability to make sure that you always get an instant and an artifact every turn. And so I decided to do like, the classic 5 island Fanoop PO list back from like 2019, 2020. I definitely think that you can just slot 1 or 2 Hurkyl into a normal blue-black or Esper PO list, and I don't think it is bad at all. That's what I've been testing mostly. Like either I'm thinking like 1 main, 1 side, or just 1 main, or like 2 side to bring in against like the Collector Oof or the Hull Breacher matchups. Like this card is quite good against Hull Breacher, which is really nice. The rest of this deck is atrocious versus Hull Breacher. But basically, I've upped the instant and artifact count so that you have an extremely high likelihood of hitting an instant and artifact every turn. And now, it's a little hard to cast instant every turn because a lot of your instants are counter spells. So we've gone up on things like Repeal. That way you can cycle a Repeal on your turn and turn your Repeal into 1 card and a counter spell, which I think is pretty powerful. Basically just refunding a bunch of your action every turn. We're doing some fun things. Like we have some Astrolabes in this build. I'm playing, my main only win condition really is Karn Latticelock. To facilitate that, we have some fun things like Drain. This deck is actually going to be pretty good at using Dig Through Time just because of, it's going to be pretty good at finding Dig Through Time. And then we have Drain and some artifact mana to power it out. And we're probably not going to be losing too much of our mana to things like Wastelands when we have 5 islands in our deck. Hopefully we don't lose any games to Wasteland today. If we do, I will be very sad. But yeah, it's a fun build of PO. It's definitely a build of PO that can work. All of these like weird offshoot PO builds are powerful enough to win games. They just, lack some amount of flexibility when you start taking out other colors. When you take out Mentor, you lose a powerful win condition. When you take out Black, Demonic Tutor and Vampiric Tutor for Tinker are like really, really, how you win a lot of games. So you do lose something to say there. So I would say overall, this build of PO, typically is on the weaker side, but it is a functional build of PO, and hopefully it is a build of PO that will show off Hurkyl today. I really want to show viewers what this card's about because I think this card is playable in Vintage. From what I can tell, I've been pretty impressed. I also ended up putting a bunch of cool instants in the sideboard. We have Mystical Dispute, Hydroblast, Dismember, Surgical Extraction. We have a little bit of a Karn board going as well. I don't know why I still have 1 Tabernacle in my deck when I don't have Demonic Tutor. That was probably a mistake. I probably needed to put 2 Tabernacles in my sideboard. Or maybe 3, or maybe I just shouldn't have had a Tabernacle with my sideboard. I just missed that when I was building today. And then never cut your 4 Hurkyl's Recall so you can make shops players sad. Round 1's about to begin, so I will see you then. If you'd like to see your deck played on this channel, check out the Patreon link in the description below, where you can find all the information you need to submit a donation deck list. Let's battle. Okay, round 1, Vintage Challenge, 53 players, 6 rounds of Magic. Let's begin. Okay, well, the good news is I have entered the tournament with the correct deck. The bad news is I have a Bolas's Citadel in my hand. In Legacy? I don't know. I don't play any Legacy. I would assume less good. The reason that I think Hurkyl is really at home in Vintage is because of artifacts. Like, having the ability to play a Moxen, play your Hurkyl ahead of curve, and then have a high artifact count to hit artifact every turn with it. I think that's the reason that Hurkyl is good. And I could definitely see Hurkyl just not being very good in other formats. So I'm trying to make my Hurkyl find me an instant and an artifact every turn. I'm just gonna cycle the Astrolabe here and hope to draw an additional blue card. Kind of have to play this as the long game, seeing as I didn't draw an additional blue card. That's not good. Oh, they powdered? They are Gak. Okay, I should have cast Ancestral Recall then. I didn't notice I was answering my phone. Thank you for that. I mean, I'm fairly unlikely to force anything on this turn anyways. It does look like they're playing Cradlevine. So we probably are going to want force for Oof on the second turn. That is a Hogaak, a Rootwalla, and a Vengevine. This means there's probably a hollow one coming. I can't imagine you would pitch... Oh. Shit. So if my opponent doesn't have a hollow one, then forcing this is actually quite good, because it will stop Vine from coming. I'm going to probably lose this game. I really, really screwed up by not Ancestraling. Oh boy. Yeah, I'm going to pitch I think this is like my highest chance of winning the game is if they just don't have a hollow one. Oh, they just have a hollow one anyways. Oh, they have a Chalice. Interesting. Okay, they have a hollow one anyways. Okay, I mean, I just probably never winning this game then. Yeah, I mean, this is a very, very strong hand. Bizarre Lotus, 9 power, Chalice on 0. Don't think we had much of a shot anyways. Chalice on 0, not a bad thing for our deck, actually. We have 4 Hurkyl, we have 4 repeals in our deck, so Chalice on 0 is pretty beatable. But this starting hand is just not beatable, unfortunately. We're gonna take too much damage, and we can't really Karn lock them or anything. If we had Ancestral, we would have drawn a blue source for what it's worth. But I mean, even if I make the same play with an Ancestral, it's just not going to get the job done. I'm just gonna concede. I don't really see any point of playing this anymore. But yeah, I mean, Bizarre's pretty broken. Hollow one is still Hollow one. Okay, I mean, I do have a Sphinx, which is nice. I will also take the Artifact Hate, I guess. Do I need Dismember for Oof? Probably. I do think that this deck is much worse at beating Bizarre than the other PO decks. So that is a problem. Definitely don't think I need all these Flusterstorms here. Probably don't want all of my tops either. I mean, I don't really want all of my repeals either. I don't really want a lot of my magic cards here. Probably keeping a Flusterstorm, though. Yeah, I just don't like. I lack the substantial tools in this build to battle this kind of deck. Don't really know what we're supposed to do about it. I was kind of hoping we play against like the same subset of decks we played against in that other tournament where we played against like 6 blue decks. Like this deck seems like it's much better against blue decks than it is against. Oh my lord! I don't even think this is good. My opponent's deck is not really a graveyard deck. It's just a bizarre deck. So you kind of need Needle. I don't even have Needle. Like I have 1 Needle. Like the problem that right now that what we're facing right now, a problem in Vintage is that bizarre decks are no longer weak to graveyard hate. Which is bad. And then like they just like kind of skirt around all of the negatives of bizarre. Yeah, I guess I have to mulligan this hand, unfortunately. I just don't think this gets us anywhere. Kind of looking for a Tinker hand if possible. Jeez, I have 12 lands in my deck, so this means that this hand contains 1/3 of my lands. So that's bad too. Gaia's Cradle, Collector, Force of Vigor, Serum Powder, Besiege You. Yeah, I'm gonna mulligan this hand. Yeah, I'm gonna do this and hope my opponent doesn't hurt me too badly. What I'm gonna do is try to go Opal, Sapphire, Soul Ring, and hope they don't hit my Sapphire and my Opal, and then pass. Obviously, if they have, come on. All right, yeah, I mean, maybe we don't want to play any. I don't know. Vintage has been going so bad for me. I don't know, man. Whatever. I don't know. Every day I play a blue deck and I'm not playing Bizarre, I feel really stupid. But then when I play Bizarre, I play against Doomsday, and then I feel really stupid. So I don't know the answer. Vine Gast. Well, at least they didn't put 10 power in play on turn 1. But I'm sure I'm getting Vigored here, so. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why I played. I was 0% to win either of these games. That's crazy. Maybe I'm just supposed to play. I don't even know what the answer is. Yeah, I mean, restricted Magic the Gathering card, mental misstep. Wait, is my opponent gonna? Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's strong deck. When I play PO, I mean, these hands that I kept, like I have to keep both of these hands, and both of these hands were 0% to win. So like, what am I supposed to do? Obviously, I made a mistake in game 1 where I could have Ancestral instead. I just didn't notice they powdered because I was not paying attention. But even then, like, like this deck doesn't lose unless I'm playing Doomsday. Well, I can draw Ancestral into Tinker Sphinx. That was probably the only out. Okay, well, we didn't get to play any Magic in round 1, but this is why Hogaak is good. So, especially these new versions of Hogaak, the new canister versions I like a lot. They just don't really have a lot of the same weaknesses. They both have the same weakness that they're going to lose to Doomsday, but besides that. Okay, here we are, round 2. Our hands are still not going to win us any games of Magic, so they go back. This hand could, I guess, win us games of Magic. I think this is a keep. Not a great one, but it's something. I once again did not look to see if my opponent powdered, huh? It is what it is. Underground Sea. Okay, this hand's pretty decent against Underground Sea. Underground Sea, Ruby... Never mind. Never mind. I guess I will let this resolve and repeal it for the buying of time. Okay. Another... I mean, if they just replay it, I think I can maybe just play at instant speed. If I hit a mana, then I can play at instant speed of paying three mana, you know? I mean, I don't have to. I can force with 3 mana up, but... I don't think I want to force this. I can also just repeal this again. Well, unless they kill me with off of just Badlands. I guess that could technically happen. It definitely is DPS, though. I already removed DPS from the metagame report, so my opponent is making me silly. Is it just Necro? Holy shit. Okay, I mean, I got punished. Not that I could counter the Necro if I forced the defense grid anyways, so... yeah, I mean, this looks like losing to me. Unless I draw Ancestral into PO combo, which could happen, I guess. My opponent doesn't have any counter spells because they have a defense grid. All right. Why not just go 0-2 this tournament, losing to DPS? Rough life. All right. It is what it is. I'm just washed up, okay? I can't even make fun videos anymore. Sad day. DPS stands for Dark Petition Storm, a deck formerly playable in Vintage. I wasn't even good at my GeoGuesser's not even going well today. Nothing's going well. The reheating of my lunch went well though, so small victories. All right, so what my opponent has to clean up a little bit here. What's going on? What do you got? Pick some cads. Like Jund in Modern. Yeah, I don't know about that. Can't you still play Jund with like Urza Sagas and stuff? Like DPS is... I mean, you can play DPS, it's just not good. Nice. I'm confirmed better at reheating lunches than Not Me. Not Me may never recover from this loss. So here's the problem. My opponent is double queuing the Modern Showcase Challenge and does not realize they have to discard at end step to their Necropotence. So my opponent currently has priority in their cleanup to discard 5 cards that get exiled. But my opponent is playing a match of Modern and doesn't know that. So what we get is I'm sitting here waiting for them to come back, which is fun. But in the meantime, you can check out this very... I don't know if you can see this. This is I got a chicken dish from a Peruvian restaurant last night, and it's fantastic. It was great. It still is great. Oh, here we go. We found them. They're back. Well, I ate all the fries, So it's a little underwhelming that I don't have the fries, but my opponent has Repeal, Volcanic, Mystical, Preordained, Time Twister. Okay. I did draw a Pearl. So I think what I'm going to do is cycle my Repeal and try to hit PO. And even if this fails, I can still force. Okay, we're still looking for PO here. We also get to know our opponent's hand. Ooh, does that do it? That looks really good here. My opponent will have Duress, Brainstorm, Swamp. That looks pretty winning. They'll have a Dark Petition that they won't be able to cast because we're taking all their mana away. Yeah, I'm in for that. I can also get a Tormod's Crypt just in case to prevent Yogg-Will. No, I don't have to prevent Yogg-Will because Necro exists. Whenever you discard a card. Oh, wait. So if you cast cards, they don't go to exile, right? I can't get a Needle on Necro, unfortunately. So I think it makes the most sense to just get a Tormod's Crypt. All right. So my opponent is probably going to duress away my force and play... I mean, maybe they cast Brainstorm to start, and then that could change everything. But it's likely we don't die, and they have to draw a bunch of cards with Necro. So you're kind of seeing the big problem with the defense grade based deck in Vintage is that you don't have force. So, like, my opponent had no realistic way of stopping me from carning them, which is not a good place to be. So they are going to just start by duressing. I have no actions because there's a defense grid in play. Oh yeah, we're playing against Storm. We're in the 0-1 bracket, so. Yep, and you have a Brainstorm. And my opponent will... I mean, if my opponent hits a fetch off this, it's quite good because they can get rid of like their LED and their stuff. I don't know how they kill a resolved Karn. I would assume they don't. They probably have to kill me with Dark Rituals, Dark Petition into Yogg combo, and that's why I got the Tormod's Crypt. So I'm not really sure how my opponent wins the game at this point. I guess maybe they could tinker into a Citadel, but they're pretty low on life. All right, they were not able to Brainstorm into a fetch, which means they have to draw the cards they put back on Brainstorm. Are there any matchups where DPS is favored? Maybe Hogaak? I feel like Hogaak you should probably be favored. Non-Squee Bazaar. So Dredge and Hogaak? Sure. All right, so they played out their Moxen. They went to 1 life off this Necro. Oh my gosh, if we had a Sensei's Top in play, we could animate the Sensei's Top and kill them. Damn, I wish I had a Sensei's Top in play. I have lethal Time Walk if I draw it. Oh, that'd be fun. That'd be fun. That could be like a hook. I've been thinking, I haven't done it yet for any videos. I was thinking about trying to like do a 5-second hook at the start of my videos of like one of the cool things that happens or something. What do we got? Soul Ring. Okay, so that is only 5 mana. So I can't Lattice Lock my opponent. So I think we should probably just go Soul Ring, top, spin top. And I can technically have Force up if I draw a blue card and have 3 mana, right? Uh-huh. Yep, none of those are castable. All right, so what I'll do is I will just keep a blue card on top so that I can spin, I can draw it, and I can force something, and I will just plus on this Karn, and I don't know, kill the jet. Okay. I think I should be fine. I have an in-play Karn, I have a Tormod's Crypt, and I have a Force of Will. So... And then next turn, I have a lethal Sensei's Top. I haven't played an Iconoclast yet. I just don't find Iconoclast decks to be particularly interesting. That's bad. So I think I just have to force it because it's going to ruin my lethal. Because all my things will have Summoning Sickness again. It's also going to get rid of my protection against graveyard spells. So I think we'll just force this Hurkyl. And thankfully, this Soul Ring draw was actually not bad because it's another 1-drop artifact that we can attack for lethal with. I think this is just, I have to force this. I thought they were targeting themselves at first as well, but I guess it does make sense. Like, they are going to buy themselves a turn, but I don't think it makes a lot of sense because they can't draw any cards anymore. But I do have lethal on the table, so maybe they just have to. I won this game without ever playing a land. OP should not have gone to 1. That is probably a true statement. I mean, realistically, I probably have a 1-drop in my Karn board, right? So they should have won this turn. I mean, it's really hard to win through Karn Graveyard Hate as DPS. I don't really know what you're supposed to do as a DPS player. Like, going for a Necro, and then unfortunately you have to wait until your next turn to go for a kill, and then having that next turn be, oh, I don't have any mana, is like, it's real rough. Yeah, Karn's nuts. Karn is absolutely nuts, for sure. We had a bunch of good hits, but Karn was definitely up there as some of the best hits. Like, we had a bunch of hits like P.O., Tinker, Time Walk. But yep. It was not a super fun time. Karn was not unrestricted for a super long time, if I recall correctly, because it made a very broken combo deck. But Narset lasted a really long time. I remember, the big reason I remember Narset lasting a long time is because I had to make a, like, I just play PO in paper typically. And I had to make a PO deck for an Eternal weekend. Where for Narset existed. And so I had to develop a very specifically had to develop a PO deck that could beat Narset. And I did. I made a rug PO deck. I kind of want to show chat. Maybe I'll show chat after my opponent loses. Karn was just like Karn Mystic Forge. Okay, so here's an interesting question. If my opponent casts this Dark Petition... Oh, hold on. Is now the opportune time to cast Dark Yagwell? So my opponent can Storm Tendrils... So if I hit this right now, my opponent gets... We know Dark Petition is in their hand. And they'll have 7 mana. And then they'll have 2 mana. So if their last card is Dark Ritual number 4... So if I let this resolve, they go to 8 mana, 9 mana, and they can Dark Petition for Tendrils anyways. So I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to just hit the graveyard in response to this. It puts a Cabal Therapy in the yard. I guess if they hit exactly, if they have exactly Duress in their hand, then they'll have 2 spells in yard and can go 6, 7. I'm never gonna die. I think this is what I'm supposed to hit. This could be wrong, though. Thanks. What was that? Oh! Yo, goalie, thank you. Much appreciated. Okay, so they're dead. I think I had to crack there or I would have died for what it's worth. All right, I'm going to kill you with this Soul Ring. Die. Nice. Okay, what I wanted to show you... Brian Koval Rug PO. So I had to make a PO deck that could beat Narset as like a 3 of, and this is what we played. It put two players who played my Rug PO deck made top 8 of this Eternal Weekend. Tom Basketball and Brian Koval. So we had 2 Snapcaster Mages, a Mana Gorger Hydra, a Grape Shot, a Lightning Bolt, a Pyroblast, some Wheelin' and Dealin' because you're playing 3 Narset, and some Okos. So it was a really cool deck. I was really happy with this deck. I thought it was really smart way to get around the fact that everyone was playing multiple Narsets in their deck. I would probably never, I mean, not never, but like you lose a lot of power by playing PO without black and white. Kind of like our deck today. But you do earn some versatility. All right, so my opponent is playing DPS, Dark Petition Storm. I have a Mystical Dispute. Hydroblast for Pyroblast seems a little loose. I do kind of like the idea of Surgical. But I don't, and I think I'm going to bring in Soul Guide and leave Crypt in my Karn board. And then what I'll do is, I don't even have lands to take out anymore because I'm already on 12 lands. I don't think you can go to 11. That seems a little sus. All my cards are pretty good, except for Repeal. It doesn't really seem necessary here. Though Repeal might be better than an Astrolabe, so maybe I'll go 2 Repeals and an Astrolabe for Mystical Surgical Lantern. That seems pretty reasonable. Then we'll hit Submit. I don't know how long after, but I think Narset was restricted sometime after, yeah. So this hand has Mental Misstep, Surgical, Soul Guide, and then a later Karn. This is probably close to reasonable. If I hit a Moxen, then I can play Karn on turn 1. So I don't think Surgical is like super good against my opponent's deck. I just think it has like some utility. All right, we're just gonna get gridded. All right, so we really need to hit Moxen and Karn them. We didn't hit Moxen. I think I just have to brainstorm. I guess I could theoretically go Island, Mana Vault, and hold open Surgical Mental Misstep. That's probably good too. It just ruins my chances of playing Karn, but this also fakes having Force, for what it's worth. I think this makes the most sense. I mean, if they just have Tinker, then God help us all. Not much I can do about that. I don't want to Mana Vault. I want to hold my Mana Vault so I can play Karn. You also have how good Karn was. So I don't think, like, normally I'd be pretty interested in mental misstepping this, but I guess my opponent also already played their land this turn, so it's not a huge deal. Like, if my opponent casts Dark Ritual, I'm probably supposed to mental misstep it. And then maybe surgical it. On my turn. Oh, boy. These have been kind of interesting games against DPS, though, just because of Defense Grid. Defense Grid makes you have some different play patterns than normal. All right, what do you got for us? Cabal Therapy. Interesting. They're going to name Force of Will here, which is correct, and then they're going to get Karned, which is brutal. You can't really play Zerta because Urza Saga was printed. Any deck that would play Zerta wants Urza Saga more. And you can't play them in the same deck. Because Urza Saga technically has no abilities. Okay, so what I'll do here is Brainstorm. And then we'll play Karn. And we'll be in a very similar spot to last round. What I'll do is, I don't think I need a Sensei's. I mean, I don't really need all of these counter magic because it's going to be hard for me to hold up counter magic. I won't be able to hold up counter magic unless I draw mana sources. Maybe I should have surgicaled first, so I could have had a better idea what they had in their hand. I should have surgicaled before I cast this Brainstorm. Just gonna get rid of Mystical Dispute and I don't think I'll need Soul Guide Lantern because I'm gonna go get a Tormod's Crypt. Let me just surgically extract. I guess Polluted Delta is probably better than hitting either of these other cards. I'm just doing this as Gataxian Probe. Oh my god, they had a Polluted Delta in their hand. Oh yeah, so they're dead. Like, they're just super, super dead. That is gross. So what is this deck? They brought in 2 lightning bolts for Karn? Interesting. Guess I'll plus my Karn to start. Interesting deck. Okay, I mean, we should be extremely favored from this point. I am just going to plus Karn so that it doesn't get lightning bolted if they top deck it. And I can't cast any of these counter spells because of defense grid, so I'll pass. My opponent has a Yogwill and a LED. And the LED is turned off. And then next turn we can go get a Tormod script and hold open Mental Misstep. And we're off to the races here. Oh, yeah, they're off it for sure. DPS is unfortunately for DPS players a relic of the past. We did get very lucky in these games to have very early Karns in both of them, to be fair. But it was pretty nice getting to repeal the defense grid and just time walking my opponent a couple times. It was sweet. We'll take it. All right, here I am in the 1-1 bracket to play against Discoverin. That seems fair to all parties involved. Let's see if we die on turn 1 to Doomsday. If we do not die on turn 1 to Doomsday, we have a really reasonable hand. Ah. No fear of negation at all from our opponent. When you're discovering, oh my god, we're gonna die on turn 1 to Doomsday. I'm in pain. Oh, that's a good draw. That's actually a nice draw. Now I have 2 pieces of action. That's probably the best draw in my deck. I mean, Sapphire, maybe. It's got to be pretty close to one of the best draws in my deck, so. I mean, they might be on Breach instead of Doomsday. No, they're on Doomsday. Every Doomsday player starts with Ancestral Black Lotus. It is known. Oh, boy. So, is there any world where I can cast and resolve an Ancestral Recall? Nope. There is not any world where I can do that. All right, what do I need? Ooh. So, Karn. I don't think we can ever cast this Karn is the problem. So I think I have to shuffle. Yeah, I mean, maybe we're supposed to keep Dig. I think I'd rather just look for something else. I don't know what something else is, but I just don't think I'm ever going to have the chance to cast Karn. I mean, I can't beat an opposition agent if they had it. Okay, repeal and force. So how much do I want to cycle these repeals through? Probably a large amount. I probably just want to go repeal on my opal, repeal on my opal, get fresh cards. Maybe not. Maybe just once, so then I can draw into force if I need it. Then maybe I can look to like end step, repeal a jet or something. So I have Force Ancestral. I mean, this is not enough to be a 7-card Doomsday hand with 1,000,000 mana, but yeah, that's not really what we want to do. My opponent is probably the best or second best Doomsday player on the platform. They are very good at beating Ancestral hands. We can theoretically do top tricks with our repeal, but it's pretty mana intensive. I'm not 100% sure that that's something we want to do. If my opponent passes again, though, I do think it's a reasonable choice. Ooh. Is there an established vintage elementals deck? I released a video where I went like 0-6 with one. So maybe. No, there's not really a vintage elementals deck. I do think it works, but yeah. All right, I think we will go for the extra value here. Hold priority, activate top, repeal. See if they are okay with us drawing a couple cards. I don't think I'm super mad if they're not, so. Yes, I am aware. I am aware. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. All right, I mean, we're progressing here. The second opal, not as good as the first opal. It's just Discover Ren and Diem, and then Max Magister is probably the third. I really just don't know how we're ever going to win this game. Maybe we can just get an end step ancestral off. My opponent is probably on all. I'm just gonna go for top. Oh boy. I feel like my opponent's got to be pretty close to combo killing us at some point here. Well, yeah. I just don't really think we're going to be able to beat it. My opponent is a much better deck at doing this whole Drago thing. Like, we have a bunch of mana, but they have a bunch of spells. It's not much we can do about it here. Maybe I should have fetched in response, so if they did have the main deck opposition agent. So many Street Wraiths. I think Bart passed, I think DM passed Discover Ren on the Doomsday win rate table. So, but I mean, I still think, I would still say Discover Ren is the best Doomsday player. Mother. Oh. Why? Why? Double fluster. Yeah. Mental misstep, huh? They only have 3 cards in hand. So much value. Now they have 6 cards in hand. Yeah. That's a lot of duresses. That is a large number of duresses. Wait, they're done? All right, I'm going to fetch and look for a PO. My opponent might have Force of Will, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go for it. So what I'm gonna do is I'll draw and then I'll PO and then I'll draw and then I'll fetch. And then I'll PO without tapping top. That way, if my opponent has Force of Will, then I could spin and hit Fluster. They now don't have Force of Will for 5 mana. I don't understand why Sean doesn't like this deck. This is just draw. This is just Xerox control. It's weird. Whoa! That's a resolver? We're on a resolver here? Okay. We're on a bit of a resolver. Maybe I should have spun first. Luster, Merchant, Mystical. So if we believe our opponent has absolutely nothing, we can Mystical Tinker this turn. We would have to use both of our tops to do so. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We could just go Merchant PO. Probably stronger, but Merchant PO does put us at risk of daze and also doesn't give us a blue card. So I can have Fluster force up by just playing 2 tops. So I think that's what I'll probably do. I might use my Opal. I don't think I lose much value off that. Okay, so now I'm passing the turn back to my opponent, who has 4 unknowns and a land and an underground sea. I have Force Fluster and yeah, I Force Fluster. And they pass back. I think I am gonna cash in a top and get Luster, Scroll, and go for a PO. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with 3. That does go through Fluster. Just cash in my second top. Could just go for Dig and play on their end step. That's probably better. Nope, I purposely did not include Ponder because it is not an instant for my Hurkyls. I'm gonna get Dig. I don't get to play with Dig very much in PO, so this is kind of nice. This is a crazy game. I always have great matches versus Discover N. All right, they're on down to 4 cards. I think we're currently just outdrawing our Doomsday opponent. We're out Xeroxing them. The forbidden word. The forbidden word. All right, I'm gonna get rid of all this stuff. I don't even have graveyard stuff anymore. Okay, so I like PO and I like Time Walk. This gives us a lot of backup. And then I probably should order this. I just don't know if I care enough to order this. Look, each card puts on the bottom of your library. So this goes on the bottom. Okay, so this goes on the top of the bottom. I think. Okay, and then I will spin and see what we have on our top. And I have a fetch. Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm gonna keep all those. Thank you. Only bangers left now. This is great. I'm gonna lead Time Walk, which will resolve, and then I'm gonna play Karn. Which is not Flusterstormable. Ooh, I've never gotten to play a match like that with Doomsday, really, or with PO, really, because most PO decks are pretty bad at doing this kind of game plan. But this deck actually has just a lot of it has a lot of draw stuff happening. It was cool. All right, cool, sweet, dope. What do we got? We've got a Mystical Dispute and a Surgical Extraction. Okay. I think we just get rid of 2 repeals. It seems pretty free. Mana Drain is here. Yeah, we got a Mana Drain. I fit a Mana Drain in the list, okay? Yeah, we're playing 2 Hurkyls. I also have 2 videos on my YouTube channel with... Oh, wait, I have 1 video? I have 1 video? 2 videos? I can't keep track, man. I have 1 video on my YouTube channel with the new bro cards. Another one will be on Monday. So probably gonna do a bunch of bro card videos for now. This looks fine. Submit. What? I put in an old art, an old border. This is the old one. Isn't it? I had the new one. I actually like the new art better than the old art, but I wanted to put the old border or the old frame instead because I think my decks typically look better when they're all the same frame. Yeah, I have 2 Hurkyls in my deck and 4 Hurkyls Recall in my board. True. Yeah, so I set this deck up to be mostly attempting to get an instant and an artifact every turn. If you just put Hurkyls in your normal PO deck, then you can hit sorcery a little bit more often, but I very... Alright, didn't get Ancestral this time. I will jam my Merchant Scroll directly into their Ancestral, or sorry, into their Fluster. Don't think I think it's just a good use of mana. If they want to Fluster, I'm okay with this. Okay, they did not. All right, I will just take an Ancestral then. I mean, my opponent could definitely combo kill me through a Flusterstorm here, but I think getting a Force is just a very losing line. Probably going to just low value Brainstorm just to use my mana efficiently. Ooh, those are not exactly what we're looking for. We're going to probably go Pearl Pass and then on their upkeep Ancestral. Maybe we'll go Pearl Sensei's Top Pass. It's a little bit worse to go Sensei's Top because then I can't like pay for a Fluster and Fluster. So I might just go Pearl, pass, Ancestral on their upkeep if we just get to that point. We'll see. Things may change. Okay, you have your... I mean, I think they have their own Ancestral, but they don't want Ancestral now. They'll go to 9 cards and have to discard 2. Feels like not a great use. Or maybe they have a Brainstorm they're looking to do then. I think the answer is play my Pearl and pass. I don't want to use any spells on my turn. I want to take up their mana. Ancestral, target me on your upkeep. I assume this will be met with Ancestral, target them. Which puts us in a very awkward spot. Where we probably just have to let it resolve. So maybe... I mean, they just know about my Ancestral, so it's a little hard for me to have a different timing window than this. Okay, so it was Brainstorm. I will just let Brainstorm happen. They still can't fluster me because I have enough to pay. Though they might make me pay. In which case, I probably... flustering back is not much better than paying. We'll have to see what happens here. I don't need this Ancestral to resolve, so I'm likely not to fight over it, because I do have backup. In fact, if I draw... I know I'm not drawing a Mana Source, which is a little unfortunate. Will this be Fluster? Oh, it'll be Force. Patching Oracle. Okay, yeah, then that's fine. All right, no land drop for turn. The question becomes, do I play a top? And I think the answer is yes. I'm not going to spin now. I'm just going to make sure my next draw is a blue source and then go for an end step PO. These duresses have been quite good. Seems reasonable to just fluster this. Mental misstep. I almost wish I hadn't done this Brainstorm. I do think Mental Misstep is good here. It's probably just... I don't know, though. What I might do is hide it underneath this so I can make my land drop and fetch away. I don't think I want to PO on my turn here. I would like to be able to PO either on end step or in some way where I can beat a fluster. So I think I'll just do the same thing, and I will spin this island on top. And now I can beat Fluster. I think I will again go to their end step, though. Don't see a strong reason not to. I guess if they preordain, that would be a problem. They just have not hit lands. Okay, so now I'm going to PO without activating top. And this beats Fluster. If this gets forced, I just let it happen, and then I spin. Yeah, this is fine. And then I'm just going to spin a new PO to the top. And then I'm going to do the same thing. It's a little risky, like if they preordain, but I'm going to make the same play. Here's Fluster. I have to... The question is, do I want to be able to beat days? In which case I could draw... No, I'm just going to... This is fine. I am just going to pay and then make them have another counter spell. I don't think they usually keep in days against me. Especially on the draw, on the play. Or maybe not on the play. It doesn't matter. They have double fluster, right? Okay, cool. So, I mean, we've completely drained their hand, really. They're down to 4 cards now, and we still have an upkeep spin for a piece of action where they have no longer have any flusters. They can have negations. So we will spin. Fluster. Wow, that's really bad for us. Okay. This is bad. Because we had to use our last fetch to do this. I will get the second top in play, and I will probably spin again now. Look at this third card deep. A Narset. That's a good card, though. Will I play Narset right now? No, I don't think that's I don't think turning off Fluster is good. Maybe I should have spun before I played this top, and then I could have drawn into Narset. But then I wouldn't have had to get top back for Narset. Yeah, I think I made a mistake in just playing this top first. Okay, so it looks like they're going to gush into Doomsday. Gush, replay their land, cast Doomsday. Which we will fluster. And that will definitely resolve. Oh, now they can play Duress. Oh, now they can play Cantrip. I mean, we have to counter this. Oh. They can have second, like, Dark Ritual. I guess they could have Dark Ritual. They couldn't pay. They could Dark Ritual into second one. Okay, they don't. All right, we're just going to draw directly into Narset, which they will have to have a negation for. The negation. These have been great games of Magic for sure. Negation trap. I am out of action. Okay, it's possible I was maybe greedy. I think I'm going to activate this top, get my fetch, and spin. Maybe I won't spin until I need to. But I think I can get rid of this top now. I think I'm going to spin now. Good draw. Well, I guess there's not that many draws. Oh, my. Okay, which is better? Wow. Okay. I guess I'd rather hold Misstep on top for Dark Ritual. Well, no, they don't need Dark Ritual anymore because they will have... So definitely just Misstep on top. My opponent has a land in hand and 3 unknowns. And then this next turn, what we can do is spin and draw to Hurkyls and then replay top. So is this going to be Doomsday? It is. I have to let this resolve. They don't have a Gush. They could have a Street Wraith. If they have Street Wraith into Gush, we can spin and hit Mystical Dispute, so we shouldn't die here. And they only have 2 cards in hand, and we're going to have... Next turn, we're going to have... Well, we have to be kind of careful, because if we draw into... We'll probably have to draw whichever one we think is better with our top. Because we're going to have to, like, draw with top. We get Hurkyls. We draw with top. We replay top. We draw with top again. That gets us both instants, and then we get the top back at end step with Hurkyl. They played fetch this turn? Okay, so they have an underground sea in... I mean, we should probably map this out. Two hand with 1 is a UC, and then 5 in library. We should probably map this out. It's pretty important. I think we're currently in a good position. They're going to go to 7, and we're going to have Dispute, Misstep, Hurkyl. Unless they have a Street Wraith as their last card in hand. Which I don't think they have a Street Wraith as their last card in hand, but they could have been holding the Street Wraith for post-Doomsday, so it's possible. It's been a really nice match. We've played some like serious draw-go games, and I've gotten to play like tons of end-step PO action, like around Fluster. I feel like I played this game really well. Doomsday usually plays 4 Wraiths. Vintage is a little different, where you can easily win the game right after your Doomsday by gushing, so... yeah, I would assume the 1 Oracle that is left. I would assume Gush. Yep, we already see Gush selected. So definitely gonna have a Gush and an Oracle in their pile, unless we don't see an Oracle in exile, in which case they have an Oracle in their hand. Yeah, I mean sometimes you just get murdered, but sometimes you play really interesting games of Magic. To be fair, I'm also playing like a 4 Fluster deck, right? I am on 4 Force, 4 Fluster in the main, so... Right, that's what I'm saying. There's 1 Oracle currently in exile here, so if we see it, don't see an Oracle, I guess we don't know anything. We know it's either in their hand or their library. We technically don't know if the Oracle will be in their library or their hand. It could be the last card in their hand, is what I'm trying to say. We do know 3 of the 8 cards we're gonna, or 3 of the 7 cards we're gonna have to beat. UC, Gush, and Oracle. The other card in their hand can't be a land because they were missing lands for a number of turns. I guess it could because they gushed. But we know they have 1 UC that they gush back is still in their hand. I guess there like could technically be a fetch. I feel like they would have fetched twice. Maybe they wouldn't have fetched twice. Yeah, I don't think this is easy. I assume that their other card in hand is like not great, and they have to build like the most redundant pile for my counter magic. Unfortunately, this misstep looks like it will have no targets unless my opponent puts like a duress or an ancestral in their pile. Yes, I know they have 1 Z in their hand. I'm trying to figure out if it's possible they have a second like fetch or C in their hand. I gotta pull up a Discover End list actually so we can cross-reference here. Ooh, Discover End won a challenge literally last week with Doomsday. It's kind of the normal though. Gaia's Blessing, nice. Discover End's on Murktide Regents instead of Shieldreds. Only 1 opposition agent. We're pretty lucky we didn't get opposition agented. I guess our deck doesn't have Demonic or Vampiric. It just has Mystical Merchant and fetches. If you're looking to find a dead card, then yes, that would make sense. I think it's fairly likely they have a dead card in their hand, but I don't know for sure. All right. One in hand, and then 3. Yeah. That is no. I think your line of thinking is good. Okay. So, ancestral. Okay, that's good. Ancestral. There's a bobble in their deck. Interesting. Black Lotus is gone. Interesting. There's the UC. All the street wraiths are accounted for. Vampiric. I don't see a mystical. It's not unreasonable that mystical could have been sided out, but I don't really think they would. So this is like possibly mystical. 1 force of will. 2 force of will. 3 force of wills. The force of will could be in their hand as well. 1 fluster, 2 flusters. How can they only have 2 flusters? Interesting. I think they boarded something out. So I think this is a fluster. And this is a force. I think this is their 7. In which case they will go Gush to start, which we actually can't counter with Mystical Dispute because they have enough mana. Interesting. Okay, that's what I think they have. So our play doesn't change. We are going to play Hurkyl and then activate top, draw Misstep. No, sorry. We're going to activate top now, draw Hurkyls, draw top for turn, play Hurkyls and top, and then activate top and draw. So we have a huge problem where I guess we need to take Misstep to beat their Ancestral. So we have to lose Dispute. I guess we could also not play Hurkyls and just take Mystical and Misstep. The Dispute doesn't actually do very much here. Only the Misstep really does anything. But if they draw and they Gush, they draw down to 4 and they Gush, they can win on that turn, though. So I don't think this prevents us from... Like, if they just put top deck Gush, and then they draw... No, they would never do that, though. Because that just makes their pile make no sense. I'm trying to figure out if we're supposed to play this Hurkyls at all. We might just be supposed to draw Dispute and pass with Dispute and Misstep up. Okay, so if we activate top and draw Hurkyl, and then we play Hurkyl and top, that gives us 2 mana left over. And then we draw Mystical. We would lose Dispute, though. That's the biggest problem, is I think no matter what, we would lose Dispute. No. We draw with top. We get Hurkyls. We play Hurkyls top. We draw Mental Misstep. And then we get our top back. No, if we play Hurkyls, we lose one of our counter spells. No matter what, I can't get both of these counter spells. I will lose one if I play Hurkyls. Whereas I could keep both. Do I need Hurkyls? I don't know. Can they win if they don't put Ancestral on top and they just go Gush into Oracle, Gush into Fluster, Ancestral? I think I have to go and keep everything. I'm allowed to spin again, though. Dig through time. That's insane, right? If I cast it now, is it good, though? I get Dispute and one more. It's probably good. You can get like a Fluster or something. Dig has been so good. Dig has been very good. Can I get to 10? I should just leave this Fluster on top. I don't think I can die with this card set up here. Yeah, they went land go. Okay, I'm just gonna look to kill them with Citadel, hopefully. Repeal. That's gotta be lethal. One, two, three, four, five, six. I need 4 more permanents to kill them. And I have 2 turns to do it. It's gotta be good enough. Yeah, they did go for the Ancestral Hand. I should just use blue mana here. So here we'll see what their other card is. Oh, they have Gush and Ancestral and Jet. Okay. So they can still Gush. Oh, so if they had Gushed, would they... I guess they can't Gush and Ancestral. Does that mean they built a weird pile? So their hand was Underground Sea Ancestral? So their hand was Underground Sea Ancestral. And that means that this is probably like this, and then it was going to be Gush. Interesting. So they were going for redundancy for counter magic. which makes sense. But then I tinkered, so they decided not to go for it. So if my opponent if I had gone just Mystical Dispute and Ancestral and Mystical, does my opponent's hand beat that? If they go Ancestral and I misstep, and then they go Gush and they have 3 mana to pay, so I lose this game, right? So if I had not hit Dig, I would have lost this game. Wow. If I had not spun after... If I had gone for the Hurkyl's line, I would have lost. If I had spun and my third card down was garbage, I would have lost. Then I would have had to play a game 3 with like 2 minutes on my clock. What a crazy game. Okay, here we go. 2-1 now. Continuing our mono blue Hurkyl's adventures. This hand does not have any Moxen or any forces, which means I'm not into it. Let's try again. I'm into this. I accept. I believe I will just take I will just cut a land. No. I could just get rid of Opal and go turn 1 Snow-Covered Soul Ring. Or I could get rid of an Opal, or I could get rid of a land and go Upkeep Ancestral. Bunch of reasonable choices on this one. I think I want to keep both threats. So the question is really, do I want to get rid of a land or an Opal? If I get rid of an Opal... It depends on what my opponent plays. They kept their 7-card hand. I think I'm going to get rid of Opal and go Ancestral Upkeep. Which leaves me with less turn 2 plays, but I think is the highest upside hand. Okay. I don't hate that. It's an interesting Ancestral. Oh, that's just Bazaar again. Well, this is unfortunate. I'm gonna just lose all my games to Bazaar today, huh? I'm gonna have brilliant, beautifully played blue matchups and just die to Bazaar. I'm so sick of this shit. Oh my god, can we restrict Hollow One? This is ridiculous. This is just easy every 7-card hand. I have no counterplay. I just lose. Narset does not really stop Bazaar, no. Not when my opponent gets free 10 power every single time. It's just impossible. I don't even know what I'm playing to. I don't really have outs. My opponent also is like not going to lose anything off of this Bazaar because they have a Squee as well. Why would I counter Hollow One? My opponent is playing Squee Vine. I need to be able to protect my Paradoxical outcome. Not that I'm going to make it to that point in life, but... My only way I win this game is by combo killing my opponent. And I can't even combo kill my opponent because I don't have Yagwil in my deck or Monastery Mentor. So I actually have just no way of winning this game. I'm actually just drawing dead. Because I can't Lattice Lock them because they already have power in play. I don't know. I just think that these decks are so stupid. We're very dead. My opponent is playing Force of Will, Force of Negation, Mindbreak Trap in their deck. What are you talking about? My opponent has 12 free counter spells in their deck and 4 vigors, and what are you talking about? I can't even really draw into this Moxen to make this work. This is just not a good PO. But I really don't have any other options anymore, so this my opponent this is Squee. There's Squee in the yard. My opponent is going to Force of Will or Force of Negation this. All right, did miss here. My opponent has Squeeze, which means they're playing counter spells. Anyways, I'm going to do the same thing we did. I'm going to bring in Soul Guide, Crypt, Needle, and Tabernacle. I am going to get rid of Karn. I don't need Dismembers because my opponent is not on Collector Roofs. They are on the Squee version. It's not Hogaak. It's not Cradle Vine. It is Hollow Vine. Mana Drain is awful. We probably need a good amount of Flusterstorms. I'd like to leave an A repeal for Chalice. And then I think I would like to give myself the option of being able to Citadel. Maybe not. Maybe that's just silly. But it is nice when you draw both targets. I think I just get rid of one top. This is fine. We'll go like this, and then we'll go. We'll act like we play Magic, and then we'll concede. And it will be like we had a fun time. I mean, it's pretty much impossible to have a reasonable matchup versus Hollowvine if you don't have Wastelands. My opponent's deck just will, if it can mulligan to 0 and lose, but for the most part, if you don't have Wastelands, you just can't really combat the opponent's deck. So the Squee deck really preys upon these blue-based combo decks. Wasteland? No, you just like dodge Squee. It's just not a big percentage of the metagame. The problem with my opponent's deck is it just loses to Wasteland, and thus it loses all of the Bizarre Mirrors. So if you look at the percentage metagame of Squee, Squee is a 3% metagame, 4% metagame deck over the last year and a half. If you do over the last 90 days, Squee is only a 2 and 3% of the metagame. You just dodge it. You don't build a plan for it. Like, the problem with Squee is that it loses extremely hard to Dredge and Hogaak. Well, it loses extremely hard to Hogaak, and it loses a bit to Dredge. But it's very good against, these blue decks. So the non-Wasteland blue decks. Combo decks mostly. Yeah, I mean, this hand is very, very good. This has got to be probably my best possible hand. So here's Negations and Mindbreak Traps, along with Force of Vigors. I'm not even exaggerating where this might possibly be the single best hand this deck can produce in this matchup. I guess the biggest problem here is Mindbreak Trap. So this played around Mindbreak Trap. If they want to Mindbreak Trap my Sapphire, don't think I would like that to happen. I guess if they have Vigor and Trap, we just lose, but I don't know if I can. I mean, I can never, ever beat that, right? So it's fine. Yeah, I'll just play a deck that has no non-basics, so I don't get wastelanded. Why did I hold my sapphire? Okay, well. All right. So now when they draw Vigor, I have no counter magic. So it's bad. No, it's my fault. I should have just played the Sapphire. There was not really a compelling enough reason to. The good news is 2 of their Vigors are in exile from the Serum Powder. That's the good news. The bad news... All right, come on. Can I just get my basic islands, please? I really would like protection from Vigor. Look like they have another counter spell. Don't think I want a surgical negation. Doesn't feel like that's a good idea. I would be easily winning this game if I just had played my Sapphire, but I overthought it. I just overthought it. Just let myself get trapped, you know? It's fine. Okay, land? Oh my lord. They definitely have something. They have Vigor. It's like so bad. That'd be so on brand too. I do think I'm just going to surgical their negation right now, because if I draw another dead card, I'm going over hand size anyways. This is going to let me see their hand. I guess they could have Noxious Revival in response, but... Okay, so their hand is nothing currently. Yeah, it was an error, though. They're on 3 Mindbreak traps. Okay, so they will start pitching Root Wallas to hand size, though. That is a problem. They can draw their other 2 Vigors as well. They brought in Surgical Extraction? Wow. Okay. All right, I need to hit my land, please. I just can't win. I kept 1 Repeal in my deck for Chalice. I don't think keeping more than 1 is reasonable. Chalice check. Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to lose this game because I didn't play my Sapphire. It's really rough. This game was totally winnable, too. I would never have played second Bazaar if I were them. That is nuts. I would just be trying to pitch hand size. Can I... I mean, it's my mistake, but it's a little... She thinks it's a little much to punish me this badly. All right, so my opponent gets a free Root Walla. Like, I don't even have wastelandable... I have 1 wastelandable land in my entire deck. I can just draw any land, fetch any... They didn't pitch Root Walla! They're playing so badly. I don't know. I'm not sure you're supposed to play Sapphire. Like, you can only get punished for playing Sapphire if your opponent has exactly Strip Mine Chalice. I don't know if it's correct. I don't think it's correct. They just surgically extracted my surgical extraction. Fantastic. Congratulations. hope you are happy. My one surgical extraction. They got me. They pitched a Vengevine. Oh, they're gonna go for the double Rootwalla pitch. So next turn they'll pitch Squee, and then this turn after that they'll pitch double Rootwalla and kill me with Vengevine. Okay, that's the draw we've been looking for. Dig. Oh, shall we brainstorm lock ourselves? Do you think we're at that point? All right, so we're not locked. Probably. But we won't be able to protect it with Fluster. All right, so at least we're not getting double. We're not getting Vengevine yet. Because we have one more turn before we get Vengevine. So we do get to at least dig through time here. We don't have a lot of time. Like now they pitch Squee, they bring back Squee, and then next turn they go double Rootwalla and bring back Vengevine. Unless they force, of course, but I don't think anything in my graveyard really matters. I can't. This Tormod's Crypt would be so good. All right, we do have Tinker though, and we should be able to protect Tinker. We didn't hit a land. Holy cow. But we're just gonna take Tinker Force. And all we need to do, yeah, I mean, this should still be winning. This should still be winning. I mean, we hit a very odd subsection of our deck, but it should be winning. So my opponent is going to go Rootwalla, bring back Vengevine, and then we are going to Tinker for a Sphinx of the Steel win. And then it's going to be pretty hard for my opponent to answer. Their only answers are counter on the stack, and maybe snapback. We have double force. All right. I mean, I guess if my opponent's plan was to bring back a Vengevine, it makes sense that they chose to pitch Squee. I still don't know if I like that. All right. This is a great draw. This is a fantastic draw. I have a million lands that cannot be wastelanded, so I am a happy person. And everything is great, and I didn't lose this game somehow. I somehow didn't lose this game. It's kind of ridiculous, actually. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. We get to play a third game of Magic. Everything is great. Unless they have a Mezavith in their sideboard. That would get us. I think the only reason we're able to win this game is because my opponent had to powder 2 vines away. Or not vines, 2 vigors away. My opponent powdered 2 vigors and we were saved. I'm just gonna take out this stupid Citadel. When am I ever going to Citadel kill someone? Give me a second repeal. We can only ever win with Sphinx. So okay. Well, it's the PO has a really hard time of getting enough cards into your yard to cast Dig Through Time and Cruise. You definitely can't play both. You can sometimes play Dig. We barely won the game where I commented that we had the best possible 7-card hand for the matchup. I guess maybe it's not the best possible, but on the play, it's got to be pretty close to the best possible. This hand doesn't play Magic. This hand also doesn't play Magic. Maybe they'll mulligan to 0. That'd be great, right? Okay. Force of Will, Mind Break, Trap, Chalice. They mold a 5. We're also going to mold a 5. Yeah, this is a hand I'm going to keep. Are they going to keep their 5? It's been a good stream. It's been a very good stream. Yeah, no. I am currently testing one Hurkyl in my normal PO decks. I think it's fine. I don't know if it's worth it. I think I'm just going to get rid of... Well, I don't need this repeal. So I'm just going to do this. All right, so let's see what their 5-card hand looks like. Bazaar, and then how much free power. If it's no free power, I think we have a chance. If it's 10 free power, we probably just have to draw Tabernacle. It looks like it'll be 10 free power, 9 free power, because it looks like it'll be Root Wall, Vengevine, and a Hollow One. Yeah, and a Squee, and a Bazaar. So, you know, London Mulligan. I hate London Mulligan. It's the worst thing ever. All right, so now we just need to find Tinker, like this, like now. I don't know. It's just like, it's just broken. I don't know what to say. Tinker with Bazaar of Baghdad, or sorry, Tinker's also broken, but Bazaar of Baghdad with London Mulligan, Hollow One, 8 Ruala. I just don't think it makes sense. But it's fine. We're gonna. That's a good draw. It is a good draw. I think the deck on average will always have 9 power on turn 1. I'm pretty sure the average hand just has 9 power. Maybe the average hand has 6 power. They have a force too. Yeah, I mean, what does mulliganing even mean? Clearly nothing. No, I think you fix it by just restricting Hollow One. It's okay. Everything's fine. They have 2 Squees now. If we draw our 1 Tabernacle, maybe. Nope. No luck. No such luck. I guess I have to find Tabernacle off of this. That's the only out. Technically would have done something, but... Yeah, I mean, I guess we were lucky to sneak a win. Yeah, I mean, it's just like, it's a 20% matchup. There's not much you can do. Okay. All right, unfortunately, knocked out by crazy Bazaar pilots. Our opponent has been very nice and told us they are on 4-color Deathrite Shaman, which will be a pretty interesting matchup with our mono island deck. So this should be fun. Let's battle. I like this hand. This hand's good. We get to go for a nice early, get an Ancestral, and then we can repeal a Deathrite Shaman, start building our mana, and work towards some kind of strong magical play. Why am I... What's going on here? All right, I think it's better to just use my mana efficiently and get the Merchant Scroll now. Definitely think I'm going for Ancestral. The nice part about having a single Moxen in this draw is I get to play Merchant Scroll on turn 1 and Ancestral beating Flusterstorm on turn 2. Another nice part about this is I can't get Wastelanded. I can get Strip Mine, though. So if my opponent has a Strip Mine, I get wrecked again. All right, the opponent has a Ragavan. Okay. So we actually have the ability... I am going to try to resolve this Ancestral right now, even though it plays into negation. I think it's just too much upside to not. I'm going to force pitching a repeal, get this through. I need to do action. And then I probably will repeal this... Well, now I'm going to repeal this Ragavan inside of combat so that I don't get totally wrecked. I don't even have to repeal the Ragavan because I do have the ability to spin top, but doing it inside of combat does mean I can get pyroblasted or something, but I'd rather not like do it now and then have my opponent dash it. So if they counter this, I think I'm okay with it. I will just spin and give them a bad card off the top. And if they don't counter it, then I just, you know, free real estate, really. Okay. I mean, that is obviously the downside of using my repeal like that. I didn't think they would have Collector Oof in the main. They told me they were on 4-color Deathray Shaman, but that's definitely bad for me. Hurkyl is a good draw, though. So I've used 2 of my 4 repeals, but I have a bunch more repeals coming. The biggest problem here is my Hurkyl can't be protected. And like I could wait till next turn to have Flusterstorm to protect it, but I just don't think that's a good use of our time. So I'm going to play it. It's going to block. They have a Ragavan and 2 unknowns. If they have a Pyroblast, it's really bad for us. We're probably just losing. I used my repeals pretty freely. I don't know if I had to, but I chose to. This Hurkyl is not going to be at its best because I don't have artifacts right now. So my opponent got a Wooded Foothills off of an Expressive Iteration. They could crack and play a Monkey here. The good news is that Hurkyl is a 2/4, which is quite good on this board. The bad news is Flusterstorm doesn't counter Planeswalkers, so we're gonna lose to those. Good news is that I can crack away those other bad cards. Another set of bad news is my Flusterstorm is probably being cast on their turn, if at all, in which case I will not get a Hurkyl off it. They're gonna have a Minx here? Yeah, we are just dead. We are just super dead. Yeah, I guess what I really needed to do in this game was let the monkey hit me. But I think even if I was going to let the monkey hit me, I would have spun. So I wouldn't have even been able to repeal right away. But the game is not really over. I still have 2 more repeals to draw into here. If I draw repeal right now, I probably win. That is an interesting draw as well. I'm going to put a Bolas Citadel in play. I don't know how much life I'm really allowed to use here. Seeing as the repeal is not going to be castable off this top to kill the oof. Another top. I did draw a Pio. I mean, I'm probably supposed to cast this Pio and hope to draw Time Walk. Just a small draw 8. I found 2 repeals, but I currently can't repeal Collector Oof because I need 3 mana. What I can do is use the repeal on the top to kill the Boo, which will give me some more time and a draw. I could wait, but I think I want to keep going through my deck. Okay. So the question... I guess now I have to repeal the frickin' Boo again. I just really wanted to find Time Walk. Which maybe was silly of me. Time Walk is still in my deck. I have missed. I can still repeal again, but then I don't have access to... I mean, I could still hit Tolarian Academy. I can't activate Citadel because there's a Collector Oof in play. Yeah, maybe I'm not allowed to actually use that repeal off the top. I think that's true. Looks like it's true anyways. Because now I'm going to have to bounce the other one. I don't have to, right? Because I can... Oh, if I hadn't fetched, maybe? No, because I can block and go to 1. All right. I don't think I can go any further from here. I unfortunately used a bit too many of my things, so I guess I didn't find... There was no artifact and no sorcery on top. I guess I will take force. Okay. And then I'm going to pitch some of these tops. I didn't probe because I want to be able to repeal with Fluster backup if I need to do something like that. I guess I couldn't. I guess I should have just held the second repeal on the top of my library and used it in upkeep. Yeah, it does look like I had to do that. I was just thinking it was really likely we could find the cards we were looking for, but maybe that was an overestimate of what was going on here. Just put this away, and this away, and this away, and this away. Yeah, I maybe made a mistake. We aren't dead, but we are in trouble. We have a nice blocker, though. I guess I can block the collector roof as well. Come on! Force this. No, we can still... Oh, now we... Yeah, no, we can still force. We can just have to repeal the boo now. So this is going to turn off my Citadel. I think that's fine. Why not double Fluster? Because I want to be able to repeal with Fluster backup. What? Oh, are they going to turn the Ragavan into a 3/3? I think they have to attack all here. Maybe they don't have to attack all. But if they don't attack all, then I think we just win, right? Well, we don't just win because our deck doesn't have any win conditions in it, so maybe not. We have like Hurkyl. We don't have any win conditions. Maybe we need to play Hurkyls in our main so that we can bounce when we have Lattice. Okay, so they chose not to attack with... They chose not to attack with Collector Roof. So now I just have to block the boo. They can play a Astrolabe if they want. Oh, I couldn't have repealed an upkeep because of Hurkyl's trigger. Interesting. True, true. I don't think I can win this game, though, is my problem. Because, like, I'm going to Karn lock them, but they have way too many permanents, right? I guess I do need to keep a Hurkyl's Recall in my deck. So I can, like, Hurkyl's Recall them after Karn locking them. I mean, we might still win this game. Let's figure out a way to do it. The first things first is repeal on this Collector Roof. And then we PO. We kill... Wait, can we get 2 attacks in? No. Well, if we find Time Walk... Trying to figure out if we want to bounce this Citadel back to our hand. I don't think so. So I think we can just PO first. Well, this is going to be, we're going to have to try to figure out how to win from here. I'm not 100% sure we have it, but we're definitely in a better spot than we were before. Here is Time Walk. We need to leave enough cards in our deck as well. Oh, we do want to bring back Pio. No, I'm looking at mana being the issue, not cards, so I don't want to play top. I would rather not pay 1 mana for 2 cards. I would rather just keep an extra mana. Because we're going to draw out our deck here. We're going to draw all of the cards. We are going to get a Tolarian Academy, though. This looks winnable. How many POs do I have left? I have another PO left, so if I want to return my Citadel, I can. I think we have this. So now I have Tolarian Academy. Okay. So what I can do is Karn lock them and Time Walk and then bring back my... Yeah. This is fine. This just wins. So Academy, all of my Moxen. Can I Karn them before... I should be able to Karn them before using Academy, right? Karn. Oh, I have Sphinx as well. Okay, yeah, they can't win from here. Attack them. And then this is free. Play a Hurkyl. Play a Time Walk. Play a Narset. Activate a Narset. Get a... It doesn't matter. Black Lotus. Cast a Dig. I just need to bring the PO so I can bring back my Citadel and then activate it again. All right, so I play my this, and I play this, and then I PO back my Citadel, and then I'll have 3 mana. Yeah. And then I cast my Citadel, and then we go to our next turn. You don't need win cons in PO. You just need to make sure you can think fast. So now we stand up our lattice, attack them for 8, and then sack Citadel and deal them 10. Who needs win cons? Not Justin. Who needs repeals? I apparently need 4 repeals. Man, Magic is fun. This is called purposefully making your life more difficult. Yo, how's it going? Much appreciated. Got him. Let's go. That was such a crazy win. Oh, it was so wild. Oh, okay. Hurkyl was fantastic. This is exactly the matchup where you want Hurkyl. When you have to block 2 2s and 2 1s, and you want to gain card advantage. Perfect. Oh boy. Okay. All right. Let's go play game 2. All right. I want a Sphinx of the Steel Wind, and I want Dismembers. And I probably want Mystical Dispute, and I definitely want Hydroblast. And so then I'd like to take out some amount of artifacts here, something like an opal and a top. I don't like this many Flusterstorms. This is too many Flusterstorms. And I typically do not like Mystical Tutor either. Everything else looks fine. I like to have the option between Citadel targets. This looks good. Mystical is like really rough against Drago decks with Pyroblast. Flusterstorm is nice, but it only, it doesn't counter any of their threats. It only helps me push through my cards, or that's mostly it. And then you want to kind of trim on some of your artifact mana because you don't want, like, Collector Roof is annoying, right? For sure. All right, let's try this again. That was a cool game one. I like how we played it in general. It felt pretty strong. All right, what do we have? This hand looks non-playable. Opal, no artifacts. I don't like this hand. I'm going to put it back. This hand is definitely better, but still has some problems. Definitely a weaker hand against Collector Roof. But I'm pretty much always going to take this kind of triple artifact hand. This is going to be turn 1 Ren, or turn 1 Oof, or turn 1 Ragavan. Oof. All right, I will attempt to counter. Our deck doesn't function right now. If it resolves, if I just have backup there, we probably just can wrap it up. That's an interesting card. I guess this hand is going to be a little weak here to a Vigor. I don't know how many Vigors they're on. Could be 4. Totally reasonable. It could be 4. But this is a pretty nice draw against like an Oko on this turn. Or a Narset. Yeah, or a Narset. Okay, so the question becomes, do we want to utilize this crack? It's really rough for us if we brick, but I think we are looking to find action, so that is action. Oh, now we get to test if they have a negation in their hand this whole time. Or Daze, or a Misstep. I don't think it makes any sense to wait, though, so I'm just going to jam. Okay. This is why... I mean, this is a perfect example of why I'm playing 2 Tinker targets. This one also pitches to Force. No, I got strip mined! Yeah. To be like that. That one I don't care about. I do think I am just going to naturally draw and try to draw a mana source. I'd like to try to cast Tinker here. Hydroblast. Okay. Not a terrible draw. So I could... These are all very good. So next turn I'll draw Probe into Sapphire. And then we can see if we can resolve things. They're down to 3 cards. We have a nice answer for Ren or Minsk. Whatever. I'd rather not pitch the Sphinx, because it is castable. But I will pitch it if necessary. Maybe I should have kept a Fluster on top. No. I don't have the luxury of knowing that I can be able to spin at the end of turn here. So I have to put the card I want to draw next turn on top and hold open Hydroblast. And then next turn we can see what's in their hand and then choose whether or not to tinker for a Citadel or not. If they have a Fluster, like if they hold open Flusterstorm and they have a Flusterstorm, then we have to make different choices. Looks like if they're going to do this, they're probably playing their 4-mana Walker, which means I get the Hydroblast it and be super happy. Oh. I'm no longer super happy. So same cards. We're gonna draw Probe, see what's in their hand, and then go for Tinker Kill if they have no force. No force. They chose to play Hardcast Vigor over playing Mint. Interesting. They could have held open Vigor and used it off of Mint. They had some options there. I'm gonna Tinker off of our Opal because we only have one more Opal in our deck, but we have a Sapphire, so I think we're tinkering off of our Opal here. Makes sense. And we still have Citadel left, and we're off to the races. We have 15 life to utilize. That should be enough. Hurkyl. I think it's better to just draw through Hurkyl. Don't think we're going to give them a turn here, if possible. Okay, with this on the stack, let's activate this. And draw, and draw. And yeah, this should just be winning. Not going to play my land drop. I'd like to hold for Academy, so I can Academy and do the Lattice Lock again. I can play this off the top because I still have repeals. I have how many POs left? 2. I can just go cycle. Did I miss a float mana? It's possible. I wasn't paying too close attention. I'm definitely out of practice with Astrolabe and PO. Very awkward Magic card. Let's go with top. Draw through top. Could have filtered in the Snow Blue. Would I still have anything left over? Or let me actually spin here. There's the Academy that we were looking for. Right. Now we have another cycle through. Yeah, this is going to be enough. Because I can now switch this into blue and play another Labe. We're just looking for Karn. And we don't really have tutors in our deck, so technically Karn could be on the bottom. So, yeah, let's put Narset on top. Draw with top. Play Narset. Activate Narset. Take a top. Found Karn. Make a bunch of mana. Actually, hold on. Play this. Make a bunch of mana. Draw with this. Karn lock them. Repeal our own mana crypt. I never found Time Walk, huh? GG's. But yeah. We get there. I do wonder if we should have a Hurkyls in our main for like weird situations where we have to bounce at creatures, but maybe it doesn't. Maybe we don't need it. I mean, not Hurkyls the Master Wizard, but Hurkyls Recall. Oh yeah, no worries, no worries. GG's. All right, here we go. 6th and final round of this vintage challenge. Our opponent has revealed a Cat Nightmare. So that means we can play some fun and balanced Magic the Gathering together where my opponent does not tap Bazaar of Baghdad, theoretically. I think our deck can play against Jeskai, so I'm not too worried. I think this deck is better suited to play against Jeskai than some of the other decks. So this hand looks good. I've got fast mana. I've got some nice stuff happening. Okay, that is a lot of Moxen for your Lurist. Okay, yep, that is annoying. All right, I think we're going to just go with Mana Crypt as our one spell and look to bounce this Ledger Shredder. Don't want to give them a loot when they don't have a spell currently. Or they don't have a land currently. They did find a land off the top. So we are playing as Luris Breach, very likely. Double Mox in hand is definitely on the rougher side of things. I'm going to respond to this with Repeal on the Shredder. And then if they counter, at least we don't get Ancestraled right away. Okay, cool. So if they Ancestral, I mean, I'm not thrilled about it, but at least we can go off on our turn because they're going to be tapped out. So all I want to see right now is Flusterstorm. If we draw Flusterstorm, I put ourselves at a great chance to win. Oh, well, they know the answer now. We have 4 Flusters in our deck, so a Flusterstorm draw, maybe even a second PO draw. I'm not sure how exactly our mana lines up, but we might be able to go with 2. Oh, baby. This time I gotta remember to filter my... Oh, wow. Do I play an island to cover double Fluster? Yeah, I think that's reasonable. Oh my god, it automatically uses the snow mana. How do I play around this? I don't think I can undo it anymore. It won't let me not use the snow mana? Oh god, that almost cast it for 0. Ah! It just automatically uses the snow mana. No, it just automatically consumes the snow mana. Come on! What will tapping the island do? Like, no matter what, when I put the PO on the stack, it automatically takes the snow mana. So frustrating. I mean, they're dead. But I think we're just gonna tinker so that we don't accidentally draw it. I like how we played this game. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. They did. I remember this from the last time I tested PO Astrolabe. You have to put the PO on the stack and then transfer mana to Astrolabe mana. It's ridiculous. I remember that. No, I remember that. I remember that. All right. Nice Pyroblast deck, opponent. I appreciate. Let's bring in Dispute and Hydroblast. And I like Soul Guide Lantern here. I don't know if I want Dismember. I have Repeals, so... You have to pay for the PO first, and then you can make blue mana. Like, I don't know. I think I've already reported it, but maybe I have to report it again. New management and all. I'm going to take out Mystical Tutor, and I'm going to take out... one top. I don't really want to take out a top, but I got to take out something. So I'm going to take out 1 top and 1 repeal. I like how we played that game. Things worked out pretty well. Excuse me. Yeah, I think with this amount of repeals, I shouldn't need to bring in Dismember against this matchup. Top should be restricted? No. No. There are barely any decks besides PO that play more than one top. Why am I playing an ugly mana drain? I need to play an old border mana drain. Old frame mana drain. To go with my other old frame cards. Even though I like the new art more. I agree. This hand's sweet. This hand slaps. Another Mox in hand. Very nice. So you got a turn 1 Dread Horde or Shredder? No, this time they're going to leave open Fluster. I definitely like the new art mana drain. I think it looks cool. Maybe I should have led top. I don't know which is more problem for us. I think I'm interested in not time walking here. Guess I get Mind Break trapped. I think I'd rather hold up Force Fluster. Ooh, so this is a little on the unfortunate side of things. I don't need either of these now, so I think I'm gonna draw and play Island. Well, maybe I draw, play Island, and cast Time Walk. No, I don't want to get into trouble. I am gonna use my land drop though. I think this way I can use like an Academy or something next turn if I need to. Obviously, I'll have to... Oh, I really want to fluster that. Yeah, I'm going to fluster this. That's just like super high value. They have 4 cards in hand. They have a fetch. It's just like a really high value fluster. Brainstorm is really, really strong magic card. Is there 2 more? I don't know. Oh, mana drain. Scryfall. Oh, they are gonna Mystical. That's fine. I like the Iconic Masters. I like the Iconic Masters one, the big spiral. So they put an Ancestral on the top of their library. Will we force Ancestral here? Yeah, I will. They have Pyro, they have Pyro. Okay. So they're they're on Jeskai Breach with Luris, or Jeskai Luris with Breach. Okay, so they have 4 unknowns. Not my kind of deck, but for fair Magic players, it seems like a pretty good alternative. The good news is we have no wasteland targets. The bad news is if my opponent does draw a force and they counter my top, we do lose the game. Which I don't recommend. So I got my opponent's Force of Will out of their hand, but they did resolve an Ancestral. But the thing is, this Ancestral cost them a draw step and a Mystical Tutor. So it's not like it was a huge Ancestral. They have 4 unknowns, we got nothing, and we have a top coming. And they have a Luris, so I would say we're probably behind here, but we also can play any card in our deck. Whereas they probably have dead cards. Okay, they drew Pearl. And Ruby. And Mystic and Merchant Scroll. Okay. That's a pretty solid Ancestral. So my opponent has a Dig Through Time in their hand and 1 unknown. So the good news is if they haven't, I mean, if I was them, I'm pretty sure I would have merchant scrolled for mental misstep. I would have snapped off merchant scroll for mental misstep here. Mental misstep to my top, and then they're probably winning. Here, if I spin and hit a PO, we probably win the game. That is an unfortunate set of cards to draw. I will put the force on top because it's more likely to counter this dig through time. Maybe not more likely, depends on what they play this turn. All right, so they have 3 unknowns, or 2 unknowns and a dig through time. See what they choose to do. They're going to consider. So now I could spin into a fluster if I wanted to. They considered and put card on top, hit a fetch land. Okay. So now we can fluster, it looks like, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. So if they go for dig, we've got access to fluster. Yeah, I don't like their play. I think I would have merchant scrolled for mental misstep. I think that would have been a game-winning play. It's not a normal line, but you do know that I'm drawing top again, so... I think I would have liked that. Sheesh. Okay. Well, I have that pretty well covered. We'll have to see. Let's spin this. They do get to pay for 1. So I have to put the ones on the one I want the most. So I'm going to put 2 copies. Let's see. Hold on. First, I only have enough to do 1 on each. Okay, well, I'm gonna do 1 on each then. And they're gonna get to kill one of my artifacts here. Probably they kill Soul Ring. Maybe they kill Opal. We know their last card is Dig. If they do kill Opal, it means that we can't force the Dig. Again, we can spin into PO and win. Maybe it wouldn't win-win, but... Okay, yeah, they let the Mana Crypt 1 resolve. They have to choose whether they want to kill Soul Ring or Opal. And it looks like they're going to kill Opal. Okay, I think that makes sense. That seems like a pretty strong play. Turning off my Force of Will. It's a close game. It's a close game right now. PO is really what's going to make this wide open. Fluster Force. Unlucky. Okay, so I will hold Fluster on top. If I can't fluster their dig, which is probably likely, then I have to take the fetch land and just look for a win. If I can fluster their dig somehow, things change. Nah, they're just going straight for dig. Yeah, if we try to, we would lose 2 in that sense. So it's better to just let them choose the best one. They can also make a mistake as well. This is really, really unfortunate. Unfortunately, my opponent went for the Shattering Spree last turn instead of going for the Dig, and now I'm pretty far behind now. I was really hoping we would spin into something of value, but we didn't really do that. And we're just super far behind. I mean, if you know that my cards are going to be bad, then it definitely makes sense not to counter the top, not to go get a mental misstep. But I'm not thrilled about our chances here. I kind of liked, we drew a lot of mana. That was definitely the biggest problem. We had some decent counter magic, but we didn't have a payoff to go for. All right, so my opponent hasn't made another play this turn. They also didn't put Luris in their hand. Oh. Ragavan. So they're going to hold open Fluster or Pyro and play a Ragavan. All right, I think I'm just going to go for the fetch land and try to find action. I don't think I actually do have the liberty to spin first. We don't have a lot going for us here, especially if they have Pyroblast as their other card. And especially losing a flip. I think I will look first. I found Hurkyl, which is great into everything except for Pyroblast. And we lose our top. Mistake to Fluster Brainstorm? No, I think the Fluster on Brainstorm was perfectly fine. All I needed this game was to draw better. I liked the way we played the game out. Like I went for a play and I have to untap and then I have to have a piece of action on my top 3 cards, and I didn't. So like my opponent didn't draw counter spells off of their ancestral, so they were dead to me drawing Tinker, PO, anything that was an action spell. I think they have Pyroblast, which makes me want to not go for this. But I also think it's one of our best plays. So also, if they do have Fluster, then it's better. Maybe I was supposed to is Pyroblast. Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's the end of it. Maybe I have to not go for that because then I can just keep the Ragavan from hitting good things using a top. I don't know. Don't think it really matters what I choose to do from here. I just think we're gonna get completely out card advantaged. I was hoping to have like one good turn. Maybe like a Hurkyl is not even good enough because it's not getting any triggers. It's just blocking. Yeah, I probably just need to fetch and then look for... I mean, PO doesn't do it. It would have to be... God, it would have to be like exactly Karn or something. Pyroblast there when we have just no cards is never going to work for us. Opponent hit Ruby, which is good for us because God knows that I don't need any more mana right now. My opponent has 2 unknowns. They put Luris in their hand. They activated Bauble. They know my draw. And then, all right, well, if I draw action and my opponent has no counters, then this game is still possibly won. Like, if I draw PO here and my opponent has nothing, it's winnable. Top. It's kind of lucky, too. Oh, they drew Misstep off the top. Awesome. I want to concede. Guess not yet. I'll give it one more draw step. They hit an opal, which again, not a draw we want. All right. So this is our last turn. If opponent has no counters and we draw a PO, then we still play. If not, we concede. Brainstorm. I will cast it. They have negation. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's what their deck does. Just play a counter game. Yeah, I don't think anything was like particularly wrong with our configuration. We just had our window, and our window did not we have a window of time. Like when you play these Pyroblast matchups, what you need to do is create yourself a window of opportunity to resolve a powerful spell. And we created ourselves a window, but we didn't have any powerful spells to cast during the window, and then the window closed, and then we can't play the game anymore. And that's just kind of how the matchup goes. You need to like utilize the end step, utilize like Flusterstorms to find a window, and then try to resolve a spell during the window, and then combo off. And that's like usually how you win, because you're never going to out card advantage them. You're like over the course of the entire game, you're going to be disfavored, or the underdog for most of the game, and you just have to find a little spot to wedge in and try to get a combo off. Like we did in game one, we had them in a position where they tapped out, and so we went for it and we win. It's tough because you need a balance of fast mana and action, and we just had too much fast mana and counter spells and not enough action. This is probably a keep. Again, we're somewhere between what we need, but we do have a probe, so we have perfect information, and then this can help us find either mana. I mean, we really need to find mana. What we're looking to see is like probe into Mana Crypt or something. Or like probe into like Mana Crypt to double Mox and draw. Even land draw is fine. And then try to force through a PO at some point. Yeah, I mean, it's also a very hard matchup. My opponent is a Pyroblast control deck, which makes things very difficult. It's one of our worst matchups. So my opponent has a Pyroblast, a Force, a blue card, a Pearl. I mean, they have more artifacts than we do. My opponent just has always had more Moxen than we have. It's very frustrating. We're going to pass, and hopefully we'll draw a land or a Moxen next turn, or a land basically next turn, so we can play land Moxen Hurkyls with Force backup. But our opponent's doing a better job of POing than we are here. So they have like a really nice counter magic hand. We actually can't force through our we can force through our Hurkyls if we draw a fetch land. We did not draw a fetch land here. I do think I'm going to just try to cycle this repeal and hit my land drop. If they want to counter this, that's fine. Wow. Okay, so now I think I will go Black Lotus Hurkyl, and they will go counter, counter, and we will end up with a Hurkyl giving us an instant and an artifact. That looks really good. I think I'll save Ruby in case we miss an artifact. What is the downside to that? If my opponent has drawn a Daze or something, I think that's fine. All right, I cast Hurkyls. What do you have for me? I assume just Pyroblast to start. I've already repealed, so if they don't do anything and just let the Hurkyl go, I am getting Artifact Instant, or trying to get Artifact Instant. This does look like a situation where we could come out on top utilizing Hurkyl's card advantage. So I will respond to your Pyroblast with force pitching force. And then I assume they will respond with force pitching expressive iteration. And their hand is Sapphire Unknown. And I will force pitching PO. And then after this whole stack resolves, I have a Hurkyl, and at the end of turn, I can have an instant and an artifact. And I hit an instant and an artifact. So I am going to get Dig Through Time and Soul Guide Lantern. Okay, Hurkyl just like was exactly what we wanted there. Yeah. All right. So now my opponent is on one unknown, one Sapphire, and a new unknown. So here's Sapphire. If they draw a Pyroblast or a Swords, obviously it's pretty bad for me. But if they don't draw either, it's quite good. I don't know. I guess I should tell them. Yeah, it's currently broken on Magic Online. So they hit a Dreadhorde Arcanist, which means they would be able to Pyroblast this Hurkyl if I didn't take Soul Guide Lantern. Okay, so this is great. This is going to let me Soul Guide Lantern their Pyroblast, and then I can dig, and I will get an instant and an artifact. So this way, I get a Soul Guide Lantern. This gets to hit the Pyroblast, so I don't lose my Hurkyl. Okay, Hurkyl is going off. In the very last game of the tournament, is Hurkyl going off? And I get to use Dig. And Dig is going to hit Time Walk. Wow. That's a hard choice. I think I'm going to take Time Walk Astrolabe. Or maybe Karn Crypt, because they are on double Moxen. Or what about just Karn Walk? Or what about Karn Academy? Because I'm going to get another artifact, hopefully, off of my Hurkyl at end of turn. So I think I'm going to go... but I might have to use Soul Guide Lantern. I'm going to go Crypt Karn. So if I have to use this Soul Guide Lantern to stop my opponent from drawing cards with Arcanist... There's no combination of cards that can actually do anything this turn. Because I missed my land drop, right? Yeah, I missed my land drop. Karn Mana Crypt, I think, is the play. Yeah, I'm going to go Karn Mana Crypt. I guess bottom, any order. All right, so now I get a trigger, and I can get a instant and an artifact if we find them. Let's see if Hurkyl is nice to us. We have a lot of lands to hit as well, so we might not get any. We did not hit an artifact, so I'm pretty happy I didn't get Tolarian Academy, but we did hit a Mental Misstep, which looks quite good here. It's pretty unlucky to miss on... I mean, Instant's the one we're most likely hitting on, but we did take an artifact, so next turn we can still play an artifact anyways. The good news here is if they have Swords or Pyroblast, I have Misstep plus Lantern, so we're actually in a really nice spot. I think we're currently ahead in this game. Maybe the very last instance of Hurkyl is just going to be enough to get us through. Shattering Spree. Wow. So I can just counter the one on land. Well, I think we just activate and take the L. Oh. I fucking forgot. Thank you. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious I'm taking mental misstep, but no, you never want to play Seat of the Cyanod. The card's just too bad. Yeah, I'm just gonna let this happen. That's unfortunate. But you can find Seat. All right, so my opponent gets to draw one here with Surveil. They could put a negation in the yard and drew an unknown, and now we're gonna Karn them. I am going to get a Tormod script so that I can't get really wrecked by... Oh, I could get a Black Lotus from my exile. From my dig through time. And then I can cast an instant this... No, I can't cast an instant this turn because I don't have any mana. Okay, I'm just going to get the Tormod script. I guess they can just Shattering Spree, but I think that's okay. All right, and then end of turn, I will take... I'm actually going to take Pearl. I think it's better to just make them this. No, I don't think I would go for Lotus. If my opponent wants to cast this Shattering Spree on my Mana Crypt, I don't think I care. What I can do is I can Crypt myself instead, and that way I could get Ruby with my Karn if I wanted to. So if my opponent goes for a spree here, I'm probably... Oh, they are going to go for a full spree replicated once. And they are going to kill my Mana Crypt. Which order are they going to do it in? They're going to kill my Tormod Crypt first. That's smart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to Crypt myself to put the Ruby into exile. And the Tormod Crypt goes into exile, so I can actually use my Tormod Crypt again with my Karn if I want to. So I block... And now I can go use my Karn to get me a Moxen and PO. Kind of nice. They did choose... They still have an unknown card. But, I mean, this is what we're going to do here for sure. That's a really nice draw as well. I am going to go get... I guess getting Black Lotus is better than getting Ruby because... I can pay for everything anyways. Do I pick up Karn? I guess I can pick up Karn, right? Because I will have enough to replay it. I'm not going to pick up Hurkyl, though. Awesome. This game looks pretty won then. Maybe there was a way we could have actually won if I had played this slightly differently, but... Um, do I want to just go get another Tormod's Crypt? Or do I want to play my top? Think I want to advance my mana and go for Lattice next turn. It's possible I could have figured out a way to do Lattice this turn, but... Oh, I'm just worried if they draw Ancestral. Oh, I have Ancestral covered right now. So this is probably fine to do Ruby top and then go for Lattice next turn with my 6 mana. I guess I would already have 6 mana, but I'll have 6 mana with Counterspell backup. Oh, I guess I also get a instant and an artifact here, right? And maybe a Planeswalker. I'm going to take Opal Repeal. I don't think Mana Drain has any issue here. I didn't shuffle, so. So now I have a dispute for a blue spell, and then oh, I didn't take the Tormod script. So if my opponent does go for Ancestral, they will get 2 Ancestral, or 1 Ancestral. Man, Hurkyl has been pretty sweet, huh? Oh, they hit Ancestral. Damn. Okay. So I'm definitely punished here for not going Tormod's Crypt. Wow. That's a really rough punish for not going Tormod's Crypt. Not much I can do about it. If they hit a removal spell there, they actually would have been able to put Karn low enough that I wouldn't be able to Lattice either. I think I made a huge mistake in going for this top. I think it was just terrible. I was definitely supposed to go for Tormod's Crypt in case they drew exactly Ancestral. Okay, that's fine. That means the game is over as long as I find... Well, I don't have counter protection currently. I can technically cast that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I can spin and try to find a Fluster to get counter protection. Or a Force. Or a PO. Well, I guess I can't go for Lattice because they have 2 creatures right now. Oh, I should have just repealed into this. That was a mistake. Well, I was thinking I might need to bounce one of their creatures. See if they have a counter. They didn't have a counter. But I didn't really draw anything of value either. I feel like I played the back half of this game so badly. I'll have to go back and look. I think I just want to repeal one of the Dread Hordes and get a Tormod's Crypt. That seems so bad, though. Let's just top and spin. I feel like I played the rest of this game so badly. We gotta try to right the ship here. I was in such a commanding position, and I feel like I just threw it all away. I let my opponent top deck Ancestral when I didn't have to let them top deck Ancestral. I could have played around it by getting a Tormod script again. So I found my Flusterstorm, but... So I'm gonna repeal a Dreadhorde and plus on this and pass, and then hopefully nothing really bad happens. I'm gonna take repeal Sapphire. No, I'm trying to hold open mana. Damn, 10-0. GG easy. Bird Advisor, yeah. And then second spell plus loot. Okay. These shattering sprees with this Dreadhorde have been so annoying. I am gonna fluster them. Okay. So this flashes back Shattering Spree. Oh, they didn't even do it this time. So I'm once again looking for... If I bounce this... Oh no, they can flashback Shattering Spree. Oh my god, that was my second spell. I'm so stupid. They can flashback Shattering Spree on my Lattice, right? Does that let them do it? Oh, I mean, this works too. Oh, but now I don't have enough mana. God damn it. I'm playing so badly. I'm sorry. I also have no time on my clock. Oh, they drew Force. All right, let's spin for a Fluster. Didn't hit a Fluster. Oh my. Okay. I'm gonna fetch away those. Oh, there's nothing left to fetch? Oh, that's silly. Where's my Tormod script? Oh, there it is. Oh, maybe I should just go on Soul Guide Lantern so that I could have hit the Shattering Spree right now. Yeah, probably. Oh my god. I'm losing it, chat. Emerald Fluster. Oh, but now I can't get Lattice, so... Yeah. God, I'm terrible at Magic. Oh, I don't want to go all the way through, though, because I want to spin. I'm having a extremely hard time closing this game. I don't really think I should have, but... Another Shattering Spree. Okay. This time... Yeah, sure, whatever. These cards are horrible. Oh, now I don't have the ability to play my Citadel. Oh, now I do, though. Black, 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 Citadel. Okay, that's gotta be game. I only have 2 cards left in my deck. I can't stand up and win though. So how do I win? Well, I mean, I Lattice lock them. That's how I win. Oh, but what about I just counter the Shattering Spree? Okay. Because I can't stand up and attack because they doesn't do enough damage. No, I don't have one in my deck. I just have enough cards in my I have enough cards in my deck. And I can just counter this Shattering Spree. I just need to successfully... They can't pay anything. They don't have any activates. I block, I stand up my Lattice, I attack, and then I activate my Bolas's Citadel. Sorry, I have to just finish it. I can't be casting Mana Drain or anything like that. I'm just shitting numbers. I got 10th? This deck makes my head hurt, man. Put a win con in. Jeez. Actually, it was pretty close on breakers here. I guess there were 3 4-2s that got in, so... I mean, I had, what, Force backup? So it doesn't really matter. We'd never cast Mana Drain. Mana Drain is a terrible magic card. Don't cast Mana Drain. Okay, in closing thoughts, Hurkyl is awesome. I hope that last match showed you how good Hurkyl was. Hurkyl really carried me when I had no chance of winning that game. So definitely play Hurkyl. Hurkyl is great. The whole mono blue PO shell is actually totally viable. It is a lower power deck, but it has like some cooler options with like repeals and flusters, and you get to do some cool things. Definitely never play, some of the meme cards, but that's just how it is. This deck needs a totally revamped sideboard to ever be able to beat Bazaar of Baghdad. But that is par for the course. We went 4-0 against non-Bazaar decks and 0-2 against Bazaar decks. Hurkyl is great. Play Magic. New vintage every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on my channel. I will see you then.